To my level, but you don't hustle enough.
I pour some liquor for your shitty crew. We getting rid of you, you pitiful. Swinging off the dick of 30 different dudes. You cock riders wanna pay me for a feature. That's like pulling off your girl's pants and asking me to meet her. I'll smash her in the keys. The bitch ain't never said no. I'm what happens when you holding on for life and let go. Don't even flex and come and try me with your twin pecs. You wouldn't be the first you said to get his chin checked. I take my dick sweat and wipe it on your upper lip. Cause I'm a stupid asshole, motherfucking prick. Ducking dudes that I robbed of they whole stash. I know it when I see them, I'ma have to beat they whole ass. That's light work, I wouldn't even break a sweat to shake a motherfucker down and break his fucking neck. Chasing checks till I'm getting every last dime. We do it for the cash, you don't never have to ask why.
When creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills. My cinema rich, cinema soft, cinema rap shit. None can match me, naturally nasty. Instrumental in creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills. My cinema rich, cinema soft, cinema rap shit. You wanna get to my level, but you don't hustle enough.
You're talking to the reincarnated Archie Bunker, stronger than Luke Cage in a suit of armor, harder than sneaking a piece of chalk out the art department, or sneaking a piece of crack out the Carter while the boss is watching. I'm an ape in apex, a snake pet, slowly pulling money out the vault. That's safe sex, amazing. Only eat hand-cooked crustaceans and only fuck frauds if they beg for dictation. Alright, honey, grab a pen and a pad and write this rhyme down for me while I'm hitting that ass. After that, slowly exfoliate both of your hands and rub camel oil gently while massaging my calves. F, Peruvian dawn, Vitruvian man, superhuman truth serum shoots out of my hand. You stupid, so salute me when you see me on the streets. I'm a G. You're the epitome of skinny G.
So we're creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills.
Yo, what's going on, my brother? And this
what's going on, man? How you doing?
Of Prophet Radio, and we got a legend in the building, a guy that's been doing some serious things out there, producer and beat maker, Level 13.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good, man. On vacation down in Maryland real quick for a little bit.
Yeah, I see the background. Look like you kind of enjoying yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, man. My daughter's happy, my girl's happy, so you know what I mean, I'm happy. You know what I mean? It was fun.
Yeah, man. Yo, so how's it going out there? How's the situation that's been going on in the world? You know, really got you and your family going.
I mean, we're good, man. I mean, you know, like I haven't been in the job scene for a minute, so comes to the COVID thing, like we're straight. Like I've been just doing beats, so I'm good. You know what I mean? And you know, my girl, you know, she's in school. She has to do side hustles and stuff, like the ride sharing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like we're good. You know what I mean? Comes to that. You know, the protest. I mean, you know, it has to happen. You know what I mean? Change got to happen. You know what I mean? It's a long time coming. You know,
yeah.
You can't treat human beings like that. You know what I mean? And then expect like, you know, people not to be upset, really upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem is that everybody needs to be upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the masses got to be upset in order for change. And
exactly. But there are some good bills out there that will hopefully end qualified immunity. You know, hopefully either curtail or bust the union because they play a big part in, you know, keeping cops from getting in trouble. You know what I mean? So, you know, but you know, that's I guess that's a whole nother story. But yeah,
definitely that's a whole nother story. So you've been doing this for a long time and have a long list of individuals that you have collaborated with, produced for. Yep. And you want to tell people some of those people. I don't want to say it for you because you know
I got you. No, I appreciate that. I produced for Method Man. I produced Bang Zoom on the Meth Lab, his last album. Well, his album before the last one. My first placement ever for retail albums was Kool G Rap. On what's it called? Richard's Word Respect. Excuse me. I produced on Diabolic's album, Fighting Words. So I've been around a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just a little bit. That's it. That's
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you know I always when I speak to people that have been around in the industry for a long time, I always wonder what were their work ethics like in order to keep going? Because we know that, you know, in every industry, no matter what you do, you have your ups and downs. But there's people that decide to give up, and there's people that just keep going and pushing. So what made you keep going?
At first, man, I mean, it still is a factor, but really, you gotta remember why you started doing it from the gate. Now it's deeper than that. Now I have a daughter, you know what I mean? I have a family, so now it's even deeper. But like, you really have to like not forget why you started from the gate. And it's work, but you enjoy it though. You know what I mean? So, but and at the same time, it being work, you have to put the work in. Like, you have to treat it like a job.
Yeah.
And it's not like you start getting paid and everything's good and then you start treating it like a job. You have to treat it like a job before that money starts coming in. Or for that money to come in, you had to already have been treating it like a job.
So you definitely just got to continue to put the work in, regardless if people searching for you, not searching for you, whatever.
Right. If you love it, you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
especially if that's something, especially when it comes to music and producing and stuff. And I got some producer questions for you. Hopefully. Yeah, because some people try and go around those questions when I ask them, but I think they're important. But actually, we just gonna get into those right now. All right. Mm-hmm. When it comes to mixing and mastering, right? I know that there's a large. Everybody has their own outlook on it. But when it comes to mixing and mastering a track, what is it that you're actually doing for the people that don't understand what mixing and mastering is? What should be being done? Right.
Well, actually, believe it or not, like, when I have beats that I send to artists and it's like not on my store already, I mix it just to the best of my ability. You know what I mean? I master to the best of my ability. But like, when it comes to like stuff in my store and like my own music, I actually have an engineer who does my mixing and mastering for me. But that's how important it is, because I need somebody that specializes in taking my sound and bringing it closer to how I hear it in my head.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Also, the mastering, it brings the levels up, you know, so it's like industry standard, you know what I mean? And it sounds right, and, you know, you don't have to crank up your system so you can hear it correctly. But I actually have an engineer who does it for me, Dave Humes, actually, out of Philly. Basically, yeah, because, you know, it's, for me, it was important to have somebody that's like that. That's all they do. You know what I mean? They record also, but, you know, like the mix and master is like, it's important. Like, making a beat isn't like the end of the game. Like, it's, you know, after you made a beat, it's not done. Like, there's a whole nother world worth of work to be done.
And, you know, just with you saying that, it shows one of the reasons why you have your longevity is because you realize you have to work with a team. There's things you can do on your own, but you can't do everything on your own.
It's dead serious. And, you know, you got to pay people.
Yeah.
People got to get paid. You got to break bread. If it, you know, I mean, a team is important, obviously, and it is a team. And you do have your team that you don't necessarily, like, pay them, you know what I mean, in that kind of way. But, like, you had to come out of pocket. Like, people, you got to, if you're contracting out other professionals, you have to be like, you know, it's fair. It's the only way to go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so, like, you're not an island. It's not a one-man band. And don't get me wrong, there is cats who do mix and master themselves. I just know that I'd rather send it off and be on to the next beat.
Right, because it's all about being productive and being able to put out more of your product. A lot of times, if you're not efficient in doing something, you're better off paying someone to do it.
If it takes me 2 days to mix and master a beat, or however long it's going to take, a day, whatever it is, I'd rather pay that $50, $100 and have it done right within a day or however long it takes. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you it takes a lot less time for them to do it than for me to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can tell you, it's just like with videographers and photographers and things like that. You got your video editors, you got your the people that do the recordings. You got just about you. So you need a team. You can do it yourself, but it's hard, and a lot of times your material can be missing something because you might not know what to do with it, or try and get it to that level that you wanted to.
That, and you need that third party. You need that second set of ears to be critical, to show you something that you don't like hear yourself, right? Because you're so deeply involved in it.
Yeah.
So you're like, you might not want to make them changes. You know what I mean? But if it gets explained to you by somebody else and they hear it obviously first, you be like, okay, you know what I mean? So you need to have that dispassionate, if that's even the right word, but you need to have that, that person other than yourself that's not as like involved in it to be like, yeah, you got it. This, this and that. You know what I mean?
And that's why it's important not to have a camp full of yes men, because you can put out some trash and he'd be like, yeah, yo, that was great, and everybody else hear it and they're like, what were you thinking? Very true. So So how have working with these new artists, a lot of the new artists now, how is it that you're able to work with them based upon the way they want it? Because since everything is a lot faster now when it comes to things, they probably don't understand your process.
I mean, it still takes cats a long ass time to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I'm like on something, like I try to get it done. You know what I mean? One, so I can move on to the next thing, but I like to strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean? So, like, even with newer artists and like emails involved, obviously, like it's still like cat's lag.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Cat's lag. Trust me.
So they don't move as fast as they think that they do.
Exactly.
But they just want everything yesterday.
Right. Yep. Exactly. I mean, obviously, if it's a situation where it's a stranger, someone I don't know personally, and like they're paying up front, and I'm gonna do everything I can. You know what I mean? To make sure like everything's done in a timely manner. You know what I mean? But yeah, cat's still slow. Everything's on their time. You know what I mean?
How do you think that, because you are an artist as well, because you are producing beats and things like that you fall into your beats actually express your emotions at the time?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Even though, again, like back to the whole thing about it being like a full-time job, like I still have it regimented. I try to keep a schedule, you know what I mean? But like inspiration isn't something that just like pops into your head. Like, you gotta channel it at the time that you need it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like a lot of times, it might be something that I'm thinking about all day, or something that I'm thinking about for the past week, and it does come out in the music. You know what I mean? Same thing if it's something I sampled, like it's something I probably like was in the mood that hit me at that moment in time, and it might even take me a week to keep listening to that one sample for this one beat. You know what I mean? So, but like that emotion is there. You know what I mean? Like, So
yeah, it's something that a lot of people have to understand, that emotion does take a play in it, but in order to be successful, you have to have some type of regimen, and
you got to pour it out when and be consistent.
Yeah, because sometimes it'll be 3 a.m. and that inspiration will come, and you got to do something with it. You can't just go back to sleep.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But you better be up at 10 o'clock to get back to work, though.
Right. So it's like you're doing whatever you're doing then. You can't sleep in. You got to get back to business as usual.
Right.
No matter what it takes, and it takes discipline. And I think that what we need to ensure that we instill in the industry when we do things because the industry has changed a lot and went some ways. Things got better. Some things are not as great, but the people that's been around long enough, I think, haven't instilled those lessons and or kept those things around in the industry. And I think that's another reason why a lot of the artists from the early age of hip hop are actually putting music out again.
Right.
Because if you notice, Method Man got some stuff out.
Right.
You got Cassidy dropping stuff. You got all these guys from the 90s and the early 2000s bringing music back out.
Right.
And I think these are lessons on well, it's not wax anymore, but however you want to put it, digital format. Right. So what is your ideal producing session? Like the environment that you would want to create to produce some of your best work? What would you need?
I mean, usually I smoke a little bit when I first get up. I need my coffee, you know what I mean? Really, it's like when I produce, when I make beats and stuff, like I'm usually like in the crib by myself, you know what I mean? Like my daughter might be around or she might be in school. Well, not now, but now she's home. But, you know, really, like I just need silence. You know what I mean?
Silence, zone out, get in your head, your own head, and do what you do.
Basically, like I very rarely like make beats in front of people. You know what I mean? Just because it's for me, like comfort level. Like I just, you know, it just works better for me when I'm like in the crib by myself. You know what I mean? You know, just bang out some beats.
And where is it that because you said that, you know, you have a store where you basically sell your beats, right?
Yeah, I have a store at beatstars.com. I think it's beatstars.com/level_13. And okay. I do like exclusives and non-exclusives there, you know what I mean? You know, like a lot of the joints that aren't my usual style going there. You know what I mean? So, you know, I have some boom bap joints on there, but then I have some, you know, like more like slower joints on there. So, you know.
So when it comes to someone purchasing a beat, right, to use for their projects or whatever, right. I know that there's a lot of things that come up, legal things that come up. You know, you got the exclusive, the licensing, and this, that, and the third. Now, what is it that an artist should know before they purchase a beat?
First, do it justice, I guess, right? Second, you know, I mean, usually when, like, if it's off of BeatStars, you know, I have situations where obviously I collect the upfront fee and then, like, work on publishing, split 50-50. And depending on how much the fee was, we might do, like, a percentage. Like, if they want a distro kid, maybe we might do, like, a low percentage, you know what I mean? Like throw me 20%. You know what I mean? But and then obviously there's other situations where like I do the cat for a long time and they're dope and they're doing stuff and you know we just do split 50-50 or split 70-30, you know what I mean? So but you know a lot of times it's going to take some kind of fee though, and then definitely publishing 50-50 is a must. That's mandatory. You know what I mean?
So that would be basically the industry standard, because I know that some artists are like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm not trying to give up that much or whatever.
It's funny because they're not giving up anything because that 50% don't belong. It's not coming out of their pocket. You know what I mean? It's coming directly from the source, basically. You know what I mean? So they're not losing anything.
Right. You know? So it's like if the music is not selling, they don't got to worry about paying nothing out because they're not making no money off of it.
Right. Well, if they just on SoundCloud, then you know, which is cool. But you know, then like it has to be a larger upfront fee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like everything that I do, I always register. Everything I produce that I know of, I register with my publishing administrator and ASCAP regardless. Because they can't, no, an artist can't, unless you sign it away, an artist can't take that 50% from you as a producer, or fit that split of 50% if it's a collective of producers, whatever. You know what I mean? But they, you know, like they really can't take that from you,
and it's
unless you don't know.
Yeah, well, if you don't register your stuff, then it's real easy for some of yours to get taken.
Right. And then they just put 100% on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know,
So what we going to do?
They want to do.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is you're going to play this this Island of the Apes that was produced by you. We're going to get that. I don't know if you was when you had first came in, I was actually playing it. So when you came in, I was actually playing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna get back into it. So before we get into it, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I have a project dropping with a UK DJ named DJ TMB. It's called Dollars the Pound. It's a, you know, for me, I'm like a movie buff, so I kind of like was inspired by like the Guy Ritchie flicks, especially Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch. So I was, you know, heavily influenced by that to come up with the album with TMB. But that particular joint, it features Nems, Coast, and FU. And of course DJ TMB's on the cuts. I also have a remix that I worked on that I'm probably gonna put on the EP. That's gonna be like a, you know, it won't be a video, it's just gonna be, you know what I mean? But so I made a little remix for it, but yeah, that's like the, I think, huh?
No, go ahead.
No, so yeah, that's the first single off that project.
All right, bet. So here we go. Islands of the Apes.
Instrumental in creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know this skills gon' You wanna get to my level, but you don't hustle enough.
I pour some liquor for your shitty crew. We getting rid of you pitiful. Swinging off the dick of 30 different dudes. You cock riders wanna pay me for a feature. That's like pulling off your girl's pants and asking me to meet her. I'll smash her in the keys. The bitch ain't never said no. I'm what happens when you holding on for life and let go. Don't even flex and come and try me with your trim text. You wouldn't be the first you said to get his chin checked. I take my dick sweat and wipe it on your upper lip. Cause I'm a stupid asshole, motherfucking prick. Ducking dudes that I rob for they whole stash. I know it when I see them, I'ma have to beat they whole ass. It's light work, I wouldn't even break a sweat to shake a motherfucker down and break his fucking neck. Chasing checks till I'm getting every last time. We do it for the cash, you don't never have to ask why.
Instrumental in creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills. My minimum rich, minimum up, minimum rap shit. Come at me, naturally nasty. Instrumental in creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills. Minimum rich, minimum up, minimum rap shit. You wanna get to my level, but you don't hustle enough.
You're talking to the reincarnated Archie Bunker, stronger than Luke Cage in a suit of armor, harder than sneaking a piece of chalk out the art department, sneaking a piece of crack out the Carter while the boss is watching. I'm an ape in apex, a safe bet, slowly pulling money out the vault. That's safe sex. Amazing, I only eat hand-cooked crustaceans and only fuck frauds if they beg for dictation. Alright, honey, grab a pen and a pad, write this rhyme down for me while I'm hitting that ass. After that, slowly exfoliate both of your hands, rub camel oil gently while massaging my calves. It's F, Peruvian Dawn, Vitruvian man, superhuman truth serum shoots out of my hand. You stupid, so salute me when you see me on the streets. I'm a G, you're the epitome of CG.
So we created the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills. My minimum rich, minimum up, minimum rap shit. Come at me, naturally nasty. Instrumental in creating the most pinnacle rap shit.
Motherfucking skills. Fuck your life, nigga. Level 13. Everybody wanna be Scarface, so bullet hole fucking call. Walk around with the chopper and nigga car case. I'm with niggas that would wanna be where we're stacking shit, tie up your kids and leave your mom's face. Wait, he said rape, oh that's a he's something. You bitch, suck my dick, I'm rocking man in public. I don't spit to be politically correct. Nah, spit to chop down everything from your neck up when your head rolls and your brain rolls for 10 seconds. You'll get it, that I'm the nicest nigga speaking on these fucking rap. records. Young and reckless, my tongue got a death back. Shoulder check the belt is fucking motherfucking guestless, nigga. What? This that cold-blooded killer shit. Knuckles dragging on the concrete jungle gorilla shit. Hunters suck dick and pop pills to this. All that tough talk means nothing, nigga. You still a bitch.
Instrumental in creating the most pinnacle rap shit. You know the skills are flow. My minimum rap, cinnamon soft, minimum rap shit. None can match me. Naturally nasty, 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 nasty.
Damn!
Yeah, that was very to me it was a take back in history of the way it was put together and the flows, and it was like old school and new school meeting together in 2020.
Right. Definitely. I did my job then.
And you know, for some reason, those movies that you mentioned, that's the second time this week that I heard the titles of those movies. Really? Snatched. And yeah, somebody else brought them up this week, and I'm like,
that's wild.
Yeah, it is. So
Lock, Stock. That's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, that was the first one that the gentleman mentioned, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
so
it's media classics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, being a producer, it's important that you stay true to you when you make stuff, and and you can tell by what we heard today, what we just played, was that you take your craft very seriously, and and you're going to continue doing this for as ever long as you need to, which is probably for the rest of your life, and it's never going to change.
Right, exactly, as long as I can.
Yeah, and is your daughter into watching you produce beats?
Lately, I mean, she's only one, so I mean, she's watching, listening, but it's funny, she sings, well, she like vocalizes like every song she watches on Sesame Street.
Oh, okay.
Every song that she hears, like regular life, like just walking around, she's dancing all the time. So hopefully, you know, I imparted something on her. You know what I mean?
well,
she likes music.
So. Well, being one and she's doing things like that, I think it's just going to manifest into something great, because I know for sure that being a father as well, that a lot of the things we do, even though we might not be directly teaching it to our children, they watch us, and a lot of the things that we do, even our work ethics, get instilled in them from an early age.
It's true.
Which is definitely amazing. And we got 2 days until Father's Day, so just in case I forget, happy Father's Day, my brother.
Thank you, dude, man. Happy Father's Day, you too.
Thank you, man. So as we're about to get into this next one that you produced, which is Skunk Class A3.
Yeah, Skunk Class A, and that title, it actually came right from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Yeah, so that was super like inspired by the flick also, you know what I mean?
Okay, so we gonna get into that when we come back. We're gonna talk a little bit about it.
We grow copious amounts of like this. You're carrying a wasted girl and a bag of fertilizer. You don't look like your average horse-fucking culturalist.
Yeah, as we start this session, put the L in a circle just like a Lexus. Yeah, whatever drug it is, I'm on it like the guest list. I'm always going in, you niggas always exit. Who am I? The plug, you guessed it. Got what you want, tell me what you requested. If you wanna join the team, tell me what you invested. And I never get to dream, cause a brain resting. This is level 13 if you need directions. We high up on coke in the nosebleed section. 15, watching the Vikings on Vicodin. Oh, you got a blunt too, we'll light it then. I'm trying to get high again, until my eyelids squint, the eye get bent. Peace to the gods and the earth, 55%. What's inside the blunt? I think he laced it, cause I'm wasted. Got my mind more twisted than a racist rapist.
I smoke loud, that's an understatement. This weed here, top tier, came from the basement. Mason jars, different kinds of hazes. We blaze cigars, lightweight, swear to God we laced it. Amazing taste, few puffs, I'm wasted. Y'all should huff, no love, tree plugs outdated. Hey, yeah, my pack from the West Coast. I got the best dope, what the rest smoke. Twist wishes back to back just to feel norm. Trees blown all day like a windstorm. Mostly cloudy in my forecast. For some more cash, burn a little more hash. Pure wax, snakes in my grass, dumb high. Shades on blown, trying to block the sunlight. So let's smoke on this high grade. Wrap a weed out of space, be my mind state.
See me rolling like Tyson, bright glare from the lamp, little white hands. In my flight chair, buzz, light, yeah, smoking the lung, I don't like that. You won't get no light here. Swear it's all blue dreams, green nightmare. Wax smelling like a ripe pear, but looking like an apple plus the price fair. Throw a worm in it, what's the word with it? I could work with it, probably throw some herb in it. In the cut, home. Always in my zone, no, I'm hardly ever home. It's obscene what we mean to the scene. Skipped a couple floors on my way to the dream. Y'all ain't in the building like level 13. Headed to the mezzanine since he start everything.
It's not normal. Top skunk class A clever, man. No, man. Oh, that man with an afro. Anything to do with it. Won't have to. Just get this. Well, again, what's that? Close to the camera. Meet me halfway, mate. It's all completely chicken soup. Well, it's Christmas. Yeah, but never mind that. I'm gonna need some artillery too. Sawn-off shotgun.
Yeah. So that was that skunk class A, which if you didn't know, level 13 right there. And definitely, I heard there's a lot of things that I heard within the production of that song.
But
it also took me back because I got like this like Wu-Tang type, Dipset type, a lot of stuff going on
right.
within the production, and I was like, oh, okay. I definitely hear the flavors and a lot of the classics in it that make you really want to vibe with it. Right,
exactly. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, and you know, it takes a lot to put together something that's classical, sounds good, sounds clean, and you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. If you don't have the passion for it, it will show in your work. It will show in your work, and it's necessary. And you know, I can just tell from this conversation and from what I heard and what you spoke about is that you are someone that is passionate, a student of the game, and a teacher in the game as well.
You said, and a what?
And a teacher in the game as well.
I mean, I try. I try. But
well, when you put out work like that, you're teaching people what not to do. Like, this is what you need to do. Don't do what you're doing. And it might not be a direct way of teaching, but
that's true.
It is a way.
That's true.
So
never thought of it like that.
Yeah. So what was your inspiration behind that track when you created it?
Again, it's very weed influenced. You know what I mean? Also, as I said, it's very inspired by the movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. The actual cuts came from the movie. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to do a song with three of my favorite weed head buddies, pothead buddies. You know what I mean? So, and all three of them came correct. You know what I mean? Screw Tape is dope. He was the last verse. Big Wiz and Tila Sean are both from Minnesota. I used to live out there for a couple of years before I moved back to Philly and now Maryland. But yeah, like, so I just had to do it. You know what I mean? It just felt right. So we just got one verse done, and then we sent it to Screw Tape. He was quick. You know what I mean? He felt it, and then we got Big Wiz done. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like it just got done like organically. You know what I mean? Everybody vibed right. So
yeah, and you could definitely hear the synchronization on the track where it was right. Everything was done in unison, which is something that people got to keep in mind when they are producing music, because you are a producer. So it's right. A lot of the stuff that we're talking about is gonna go into what you do to produce right. a dope track.
Right. And even if it's not a situation where it's like you're in the studio with these cats, as a producer, you're a producer, not just a beat maker. You're planning. So again, like if you really try to take this seriously, like making the beat is only the tip. Not only the tip of the iceberg, because it's a very big part. It's the main part, but it's also a whole other like workload that has to be done. You know what I mean? Because the song ain't done until it comes out. You know what I mean? And as I said, there's a lot of work to be done. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of work to put out a good product,
right?
And you know, and direction. Yeah, you gotta have
as a producer, you're almost like a director also in a film. So like you're composing the beat, and then even if you're not mixing and mastering, you know, the editor, you know, the engineer is like the editor. You know what I mean? But like you really are like the director also, because you have to direct the talent, and you have to guide the energy of the song. You know what I mean?
And how difficult is that when you're in different locations, especially, you know, with the way technology is, to be able to direct the energy when you're not in the same room?
Well, like a lot of times too, is when you had the idea for the song, especially if it's your song as a producer, like you know already you already have an idea who you're gonna have on there. Like, you know, you'll be a fool to put together a couple guys that like just won't vibe together. You know what I mean? And like, what happens is like even when like you do a song in the studio and you're producing live, like a lot of times the artists aren't together in the same room regardless. Even back in the day, like cats came in at different times. A lot of times, like, you know what I mean? Like they recorded separately, like not even on the same day. You know what I mean? So like, because, you know, schedules are different, you know what I mean? But like, you know, if you know, if your guess was correct and they fit on the song, when they hear that previous verse, like it's going to work out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's going to work out because you also, the people you pick on the song, you're trusting them to help carry out your vision.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean? And that's why and that's what a team, also that's part of what the team is. You know what I mean?
Being able to know people's strengths and being able to utilize those strengths in one mission, which would be the song. This is what we got going on. Yo, I need you, and you to jump on this. Let's get it done. I know we could do it. Right. And then I guess that also goes with placement of whose verse goes first, whose verse goes last, and who's in between, and everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, so my brother, I definitely appreciate you giving me your time and effort and blessing me with your presence on Prophet Radio.
Definitely, bro. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. So before we get up out of here, I want you to give out all your social media handles, definitely, where people can find all your music, if they need beats, how to reach you, whatever it is.
Definitely. Instagram and Twitter. It's the usual Instagram or twitter.com. But then my handle is level_13. For most of the sites I'm on, even SoundCloud, I think, just about everything is level_13. So I'm pretty easy to find, you know what I mean? Facebook, it might be level /-13 maybe. But most of the time on the important sites, it's level_13.
Level.
Or you can just Google me. You Google level 13.
And you'll come up.
Level 13 in hip hop, you'll find me.
Okay. Yeah, that's
you know
perfect.
I mean? They'll find me. Yeah, I have such a weird off brand name too, and luckily, you know, Google algorithms and stuff like that. Like, it just works like that. Like, the more that these big record companies or anybody put your name out there on their stuff and their content, the easier you'll be to find. That's just, you know what I mean? So, and especially if your name isn't like common,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, they can find you all the time.
Yeah. So, all right, my brother, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you again, and I want to appreciate you coming on, and hopefully I get to hear some of that new content when you put it out.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you.
And we will just do this again, and hopefully have a little session with some artists and do something together and get some stuff done.
Definitely. That'd be dope. I'm down.
All right, my brother. Enjoy your weekend.
You too, man. Thank you.
Out there.
Peace, man. Be safe.
Peace.
Peace.
So what's up, y'all? You already know who it is. It's your boy. I'm back. We just had level 13 on here. Producer, beatmaker, artist, in many essence of the word. And we're able to push forward with the stuff that we're doing every day, because what we do on WEMS radio and what we do on Prophet Radio, we keep it 100 real at all times. We put in that hard work. We stay consistent. We move a certain type of way. Many people are not willing to put in that work, but they try to ride the coattails. So just make sure that the people that you have in your circle that are on your team are really about the vision and not trying to build themselves. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are really trying to look for a come up. And that come up just might be you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, so here we go. We're going to get out of here with one dope track. And after we get out of here, don't forget to tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. for your regular scheduled Prophet Radio. We got Thursday with your boy Prophet Pete and DJ Sean Recognize. And then we got the exclusive specials that pop up on Fridays. So always stay tuned. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for your boy Prophet Pete, DJ Sean Recognize. We got Iron Perspective Radio on Tuesdays from 6 to 7. We have a lot of other shows like the Ryan Show with Ryan and Mr. Cheeks. We have, to be announced, we have a new exclusive fire comedian that's actually going to be joining the WEMS family. Also, we have Comedian Catch on Thursdays from 8 to 10 p.m. with D Wise Guy. We have so much more going on. Super Radio, The Ryan Show, and many, many more. So make sure you stay tuned every week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to WEMS Radio, because we are what we say we are. You heard?
You already know. Your boy Lazarus, Top Dawn Empire, Success Music, Success Clothing, Success Boys, caught up in crossfire. Y'all caught up. BX, stand up.
Bullets get exchanged, you're caught up in crossfire. Things ain't the same, you're caught up in crossfire. Caution yellow tape, you're caught up in crossfire. No, you're not safe, you're caught up in crossfire.